What does the civil rights movement, leg warmers, and Tebowing have in common? Turns out, quite a bit. All of these are movements. Now, what is a movement? It's simply people moving together in the same direction towards a goal. Oftentimes, whenever I ask people about movements, I hear of the civil rights movement or the women's suffrage movement, both of which are great movements in their own right that have significantly impacted history. But let us not forget about great movements in art, such as that begun by Picasso, or great movements in music, such as the rock and roll revolution brought on by the King. And let us not forget about those hideous, heinous years of leg warmers in fashion. It turns out that leg warmers actually do serve a purpose: to warm the legs of dancers to protect against muscle cramps and spasms. So, was there an influx of dancers in the 1980s? Hardly. However, there was an influx of dancers in 1980s cinema. Movies like Fame and Flashdance inspired the nation to give leg warmers a go. Movements can begin so easily. So, how can we begin our own movement? Here are 3 key ideas to keep in mind whenever starting your movement. The first idea is very simple. In fact, it's extremely simple. The first idea is keep it simple. Let's talk about the campaign success of lung cancer awareness and breast cancer awareness. The lung cancer awareness campaign is called the Pearl Project. People wear pearls to share awareness of lung cancer. And that's all good and fine, but whenever I say the words breast cancer awareness, what's one of the first images that pops into your head? Chances are, whatever it is, it's pink. From the NFL to fire engines to KFC buckets, the Go Pink campaign is one of the most successful campaigns in the nation. And while unfortunately both lung cancer and breast cancer can lead to the same fatal results, it is a little bit difficult to put pearls on a fire engine or a KFC bucket. So simply keep it simple. Now, when people join movements, do they join for the cause or do they join for the involvement? And there are plenty of great causes without great movements, and it's difficult to be involved. And there are plenty of great movements without great causes. For example, planking. And some of us really want to be involved. We are relationship machines, and we long to be a part of a community, a part of something that's bigger than ourselves. We join movements for the involvement. Now, take heart before you grab your bag full of causes and walk out the door. We can use this idea to our advantage. Let's take, for example, the Als Ice Bucket Challenge, a time when people from all over the globe grabbed their buckets full of ice, ready to pour them on one another's heads. And it was only after this movement that many people, including myself, took the time to research the disease that I had known as Lou Gehrig's disease. And surely Tim Tebow didn't imagine that he was starting a movement of prayer whenever he got down on one knee. And it was actually this one night whenever I saw Tim Tebow Tebowing on television that I decided that if he could make his name into a verb, then so could I. Now, the real question is, what verb, what movement could I use to describe me and my family? And we realized that the Vanderburgs are known for asking a lot of questions. Oftentimes, we ask why or why not? Essentially, Vanderburgs spend a whole lot of time going like this. Hence, the movement of Vanderburging began. And this began first as a social media campaign, slowly gaining 30 likes, which turned into 100 likes, and then 200 likes, and then 300 likes, and I'm hoping soon we will have thousands of likes on Facebook. Now, people began posting pictures of themselves Vanderburging in different countries, from Canada to Australia to England to India, from weddings to anniversaries to birthdays to graduations. And I can say with complete confidence today that Vanderburging is a successful international movement. Now, oftentimes people ask me, Amber, why'd you start this movement? To which I always begin Vanderburging and reply, why not? See, I didn't know how far Vanderburging would take us, but I'm confident that we will continue to progress in starting this movement and encouraging people to ask the tough questions of why and why not. And it's easy to want to plan 15 steps ahead and become paralyzed with analysis whenever beginning of movement. But it's easy to forget that the most important step is your first one. You see, you have to move to begin a movement. And this world is filled with brilliant minds that have the ability to start great movements that can change our world. So keep it simple. Involve others, and take the first step. So, what does the civil rights movement, leg warmers, and Tebowing have in common? I guess it inspires us to start a movement. So what movement will you start today?